Hello everyone. So tonight I just wanted to discuss basically my progression story and how I got from where I was and to where I am now. And basically I want to start off saying that I am not perfect and I make so many mistakes, and my journey has not been the easiest, but no one else's journey is also the easiest. We all face individual challenges that try us. They do just that. That's why they're called trials. And I had my share of them, and I continue to have them just as we all do. But my perspective changed from more of a negative standpoint to one of a higher point of view. I see the world in a much clearer way now than I did in the past. I used to suffer with depression and anxiety, and used to honestly be very suicidal and not love who I was at all. I was honestly very dark. I tried my best to appear happy, and I was keeping up with appearances, which was part of my problem. I then began to see, as I began to dive deeper in myself and begin to realize who I was within myself, I began to emerge out of my shell and begin to see the world for what it truly is. The world, I have begun to realize, is a system that is controlled by people who honestly do not have our best interests at heart. I'm not saying that everyone who is in control or is in a leadership position feels this way and acts in a bad way. What I'm trying to say is that this world is but an illusion. Our reality is in our control, and therefore we need to take personal responsibility for ourselves and our life and move ourselves forward in a wider perspective, going about life having what I call an eternal perspective. Looking at things for what they truly are and not what they appear to be. It's difficult when life throws at you a tough trial and situation, and you think, where's the good in this? Where could possibly be the good in whatever is happening? There could be a whole number of things that could be listed there. And I'm not saying this is an easy process to live by. But the process of remembering that you are loved and going about showing love to others as you show love to yourself, going about that process is definitely a process that is easier said than done. But nonetheless, it is a process that we all must learn to master and become good at, for it is the only way to escape this lower system of the world that we have been conditioned, as we have been growing up in this world, to believe in. Our entire system, from our schools, from the variety of organizations out there, and they're all corrupt because we, within ourselves, are not perfect. And when we flaw, we take our flaws with us into our jobs, into our meetings, into all of the things that we go into, and as so long as we have imperfection within us, and it's not that we have to be perfect, but we have to remember that no one's perfect, and so don't try to disguise yourself as someone who is perfect. To admit that imperfection exists, you have to admit it within yourself and realize that everyone in this world has things they can improve on. They have goals, and we all have goals and desires that we're striving for. Therefore, we are at a point in our life, we all are, where we're trying to get from point A to point B. We're all trying to make it somewhere, to do something. We all have those innermost desires that eat at us. And they say, we have those feelings, those thoughts. You should quit doing that. I'm good at this. I like that. I should be doing that. But we find ourselves stuck in a system that keeps us trapped. And that leads to depression and anxiety and fear. Focusing on the present is our goal. But the world keeps us looking at the future. I'll find happiness somewhere else. It's always distracting you from what is. We're either in the past and reflecting on whatever might have happened, good and bad, and there's a time for reflection. We have this mind that can comprehend the past and the future for a reason. But we must be in control of our mind. And therefore, when we are looking in the past, we realize in the present moment that, okay, at this moment in time, I am reviewing the past. And then we go back and we remember that, oh, we're present. And we can feel the peace that exists in the present moment. Happiness exists within us, all of us, within our hearts. We access the truest happiness within us as we show others love, as we show love to ourselves. We must love ourselves to love others. It's kind of a paradox, because people are always looking for love externally, out there, in the world. Something in the world, someone in the world will make me happy. But we don't realize that oftentimes we forget, and we don't realize because we forget. Therefore, remember that you can always come back to this present moment and align to what is and realize I am loved. And I am part of this force. I'm part of the universe. It's often said that we are the universe within us, that the universe lies within us, and that everything is connected. We're all the universe expanding itself further out into creation, and we help expand the universe as we expand ourselves and we use our creativity and truly set ourselves free. This is what we're trying to do. We're all trying to become free. We all want to find happiness. That is the goal of men, of all mankind, of all humankind. All people are in search for that. They call it the pursuit of happiness. When in this country, in America, we're supposed to be upholding the right to allow all people the chance to pursue after their own happiness. But that means we must also allow it within ourselves, and therefore use the talents that you have. We all have talents, different things that we're good at, skills. We all have possibility and potential. As we begin to realize our potential and become aware of who we truly are and arise to our true self, therefore setting aside our ego, the self that we've associated ourselves with in the idea of the world. When we rise above the world and become more aware of the universal idea of connectedness, and that we're all together in this, we're all on the same road, and we're all trying to figure out which path to go. And we're all dropped in the world, in different locations, different places, and all facing different experiences. And because of that, we all have a variety of perspectives. Every human being has their own perspective and has the ability to create their own world, in a sense, because what they see the world as is something entirely different than from what you see the world as. And because of this, when we interact with other people, we have to be aware of this. And if we're not aware of this, not having the eternal perspective that we must have in order to remember that we are loved, we then forget that we are loved, and we think that we're not enough. And then we have to attach ourselves to things and objects and people, and thinking that they complete us, when we are complete. We are complete within ourselves. What we have to realize is that we begin to expand ourselves, not complete ourselves, but we begin to use our full potential and tap into our possibility as we share our talents and our own unique creativity with others. When this happens, you begin to set yourself free from the chains that bind you, the worldly chains that bind you to a system that's only out to control you. They oftentimes in this world, words are tossed around and people lose track of what is actually being said, because I've noticed that what we used to seem evil is beginning to seem good, and what was once considered good is now considered evil. And this happens because people begin to associate with their egos that they create from the perspectives that they have, not realizing that every person they come in contact with has their own unique perspective and experiences. And therefore, instead of trying to compare egos, we should try to share with each other the knowledge that we have, that we might be able to progress together to a higher level of understanding. As we begin to do that, and as we interact with others and do this, the world we create for ourselves becomes more harmonious and one of a greater nature, because it's one of following love rather than following fear. We must conquer our own inner demons, our own fears and anxieties within us, because if we don't, then the world we see will only be a reflection of what's in us, and the negativity that we're not facing within ourselves will keep manifesting itself externally until finally you notice it and take care of it. It's like a way that the universe lets us know that there's something that needs to be fixed. It's not saying that one is good or bad, it's saying that there's room for improvement. We're all human and imperfect. But as you just simply accept the isness of the present moment, as situations arise, you accept what is. You don't stop and dwell, why is this happening to me? And we get this idea that we're the only ones that bad things happen to. And that thought form takes control of us, and we become it, rather than being the awareness that can be in control of all thought. We're not our thoughts. We're the awareness above thoughts, and we can choose them. And we can literally create our own world based upon the thoughts we think, the vibrational tones we take in, that is, music and media of any kind, and from the words we speak, and then the actions we do. The daily routine, our habitual patterns, is what's truly important. Change our daily patterns, and you change your life. So, I want to leave you with something that I've been struggling with. And it's the fact that I am gay. And because of this was an issue that I struggled with for a very long time. And it's what caused my depression and anxieties and fears that I talked about earlier. and I have now gained a new perspective on it. And I wrote this little note to myself a few days earlier than today, and it just came to me. And as I wrote it, I felt very happy, and I finally said yes to myself, because I realized my perspective has changed, and therefore I am becoming a greater version of myself and rising up to my full potential, as we all are doing, and we continue to do as we help each other. So I just want to read that really quickly. Being a gay Mormon, it gives me the perspective of contrast, and because of such, I am thankful. That is, I feel in my heart that being gay is what I'm supposed to be, for it's a part of me. I have come to accept it and love it within myself. For the process of getting to this point of loving myself more unconditionally has taught me more about the essence of life than any other experience could have or would have at this point in my existence. My perspective has risen. Yea, even the Lord has saved me. My Messiah has found me. He helped me realize who I was within myself, helped me conquer my inner demons, and is continuing to help me, as He will help all of us. He freed me and taught me how to love, and now it is my job, as it is all of our duty, to even fulfill a life full of joy, and therefore we must all learn to love one another and bring peace unto one another. I love my Lord, and He is my Savior. He loved me for me and has helped me to see. I am so blessed, and I truly testify that Jesus Christ is my Savior. For I was once lost in a dark place, and He has found me and set me free, and has helped me become the person I'm supposed to be. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you, and peace be unto you.